Hello, hello. It's Dana making a mess again. All right. So many years ago, I got a physician's desk reference when my work threw one away. They got a new one. Now, for those of you that know what this is, it's a kind of a collection of different pharmaceutical companies that put together their medicine information. But the good thing about this book is, number one, people throw them away every year and get a new one, but the pages are real thin, like biblical pages. So what I have done is just punched from my scrap paper stash. That's why they're all different colors. With this tab punch, I punched tabs. I stamped them with various letters. Since they didn't look alike, I used different stamps, and I glued them on. And believe it or not, this didn't take me that long. But because I've pressed so many different types of flowers, when I go to use them in a project, if I want a specific flower and I have some left over, I can kind of stick it in the coordinating letter. So then these are, I had bought these before and showed them, but these are the little 2-inch by 2-inch pockets that you put the coin keepers in, and they fit the film, what do you call them? Like the little slide projector slides. They fit these perfectly. So I can put the coins, specimen samples that I've made in here, and I can put the fake film slides that I've made in here. So I'm happy with that. Now, does that seem a little bit crazy? Yeah, I know it does. But because I had probably 4 different books this size, that when I was trying to make some specific projects, I'm flipping through. And as I'm flipping through, I'm losing rose petals or baby's breath or lilacs or whatever I've pressed. And it seems like my yard was just full of stuff. And so I just kept pressing and kept pressing as things budded out. I just kept picking flowers and pressing them. So initially I put them in layers of newspaper, which I saw Jessica Rapp do a demonstration on how she made kind of a flower pressing mechanism with some clamps and some cardboard. And so that was a great idea. So I did that because it's easy and it's stuff you would throw away anyway. But then once they were pressed, I was kind of losing track of them. And if you don't put them in a safe place, then they kind of get broken and crumpled and they're not really usable for an art project. So that's where this idea was born. Just because everything was kind of blooming out at one time. So I pressed lilacs and some comfrey and some violets and just anything that happened to be. We have weeds, thank God. So I was doing even some of the weeds, which are the violets, of course. But I would like to make some violet syrup or violet jelly too, because it's interesting when you start looking at the violets, how useful it is. And people say it's homeopathic. So I'm kind of interested to try that. But they do smell really, really good. Anyway, so that's where this idea came from. I hope in the long run that it works. I did put my flowers in here. So like some of the things I press, like under B, I have baby's breath. Let's see, let me think. I put some ferns under F. I have some leather ferns that I've pressed. And they came out really nice. And these make really good slides. You can actually pick one leaf at a time off of these. Because see how some of the leaves get all crinkly and they're gross. But other ones look real pretty. And the backside is not as attractive. But when you pick out the perfect ones, they look really pretty when you make the slides out of them. So I made those. So I pressed a bunch of the leather fern because we had a patient's family that brought a flower arrangement in. That's not something that grows in my zone, so I don't have access to it. This is a leaf. This is what they call Huchera, so I put it under H, but these are coral bells, and they're really pretty. And when you hold that up to the light after it's pressed, you can see all of the veins and details so well in that. It's really, really pretty. So I want to do something with that. I don't know what yet. I tried to press an iris. If you do that, do it on wax paper. That is permanently stuck to my book. But it's a really pretty iris leaf. And it kind of came off on the other side too. So when I tried to pull it off, it just tears. So you might use like a wax paper base if you want to press something, or let it dry a little bit before you press it. I haven't been successful with that. This is Lilac Leaves and more Fern. I cross-referenced it under L because it's a leather fern. And then there's some more of the pressed lilacs. They are no longer in bloom, so I have used most of those up already. So sadly, I'll have to wait till next year. I have some sage from our herb garden. I have roses, rose petals under R. I kept some rose leaves. This is going to really make a nice piece of ephemera. And then I have I have a ton of rose leaves that are not in here because I pressed so many roses. It was an arrangement of a dozen. So I think it's a good idea so that once my flowers are done being pressed, that I can then kind of keep track of them in this. This didn't take as long as you would think, but if you can get a hold of one of these old books, people throw them away because they quickly become outdated. A lot of doctor's offices get one of these every year. And if you give them a heads up that you'd like their old one, they might just give it to you if they're going to toss it. It also makes great fire starter paper because it's really thin, like the pages are very thin, like a Bible. Okay. And again, I got these from the coin collector place in Brooklyn. I did a video when I did the coin pocket specimen slides. If you have not seen that video, I will show those really quickly. Let me get my box. Hopefully this isn't going to glare. This is an old Christmas box that I thought was pretty. So here is some, now I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember the name of it. This, let me go over here. From my yard. Oh, hydrangea. And I made some tabs. Here's a whole bunch of hydrangea and baby's breath. I made some paper clips with them too. This was the slide mounts. Here's some butterflies I did with vellum stickers and some toadstools. Here's the lilacs that I pressed, and then I stamped the scientific name on there. Some more butterflies and baby's breath. Those are stickers. Oh, these are the coin pockets, not the slide mounts. These are the coin pockets, and I really love these. And then I stamped some numbers in the corner. But these are different because these are covered in plastic, so they're not as easy to work with as this, and they won't take that ink. So if you do stamp on those, make sure when you use those that you're using like the stays on ink. Otherwise, it's not going to do a very good job. Eventually, I want to put these in a book. They do have the 3 holes on the side so that you can put them in a binder. But because this is kind of a work in progress here, I made this too. I thought this was cute. One of those little fake envelopes that I saw on Shabby Dabby Doodah. I just backed it with some old book pages and made a little window with a hydrangea there so that you can journal in here or write something. I need to stamp some lines or something maybe inside. But I thought that was a cute idea to tuck into a journal too. I'm hoping eventually to get enough together to make a nature journal. So I love that idea. And I love nature. And so once I collect everything from my yard that is in bloom, then I plan to get together my personal journal of what I've grown and what I have here present. Okay, so I did go by Tuesday morning today, and I'll show you what I found. I am not advertising this as a Tuesday morning haul because I only bought a few items. Oh, darn it. Oh, my hands are full. Let me just take this out. All right. Let me get rid of this mic. All right. So I saw Susan Tootsie Tucker. She made the cutest rosettes with these scalloped, and I've never seen them. I never saw them before she showed them on her channel. But then when I went to my Tuesday morning, lo and behold, there they were in the craft section, which is weird because you'd think they'd be in the baking section, but they did have them on the craft aisle. So apparently they're aware that crafters ask for these quite a bit. But there's several different patterns. I really like that. I think that would be cute in a circles journal, and so would that, or for Christmas items. But as you can see, she said they were a little bit thicker, and they are. They're very sturdy. And she made the cutest rosettes with this one. So this one has a little pinstripe on it. I think that'll be really cute. But when they're opened up, let me see if I can open one up and show you the edge here. When you open them up, they already have the scallop on them, as you can see. Well, I can't even get one out. Okay, so I don't have my glasses sitting right here, and I can't really see what I'm doing very well. So maybe that's my problem. But when you actually open it up, you can see the edge is scalloped. Isn't that cute? So I think that is adorable. All right. So let me stick this back over here. So I bought those. Those are $2.99. They're from the Sweet Tooth Fairy. I bought this stamp cut exclusively for this finger. I know you guys have seen that I have the punch. Tim Holtz has one of these little fingers. I love this. This was on a lot of stuff when I was young. They used to stamp it on envelopes or boxes if it was like return to sender or if there was an address change. I found these Maggie Holmes crepe paper flourish stamps. A lot of flourish stuff came back around in my store. And I love these little antique cameras. I'm trying to get a journal together for a friend of mine who does photography. My dad's into photography. Thad's into photography. So many people I know that love, and my son. I bought these specifically to see if I could make a reverse mold, which I saw a video on. I don't even know if I can do that. But you mix like silicone caulk with cornstarch, and it's a whole thing. These I found I had never seen in my store. These were only $4.99, but they have this cute little shoe die. I don't know that I would use that so much. But I really thought these glasses are cute, and you could add them to anything. And I've been buying these little glasses stickers every now and then when I make whimsical things. They're really fun to add in your art journal or on projects. She's really cute, this little glam girl. I like the eyelash stamp. I love the bobby pin. There's a bubble, which I don't have, a speech bubble. So that's kind of interesting. That can be used on a lot of projects. And then the lips, the lipstick, the high heel, very cute. This says, hey girl, babe, beautiful, XO, and YOLO. So a few words in there, a little scribble heart, which is cute. But I'll probably take these leaves out and use them more than anything. You guys know I like all the botanicals. But I love that stamp set. I found these were they're called Muse Tokens from Tim Holtz. They were $3.99. And I don't know if you can fully see. Let me see if I can pull them out. I don't know if you can see inside there's a letter punched out in the negative space. And each letter, it represents a word. So G for genuine, K for knowledge, T for thoughts. So it's interesting. It has courageous, lifetime, moments, wonderful, forevermore, unique, significant, journey, and excellence. So I thought those were really cool. And this, of course, the 12 by 12, you get 36 double-sided paper for $4.99. You really can't beat that. They have a ton of paper at my Tuesday morning right now. And I'm going to go ahead and find my little, let me find my little cutter. I hate when I forget to do this before I go on a video, but I didn't think I was going to do a haul until I got through the little flower organization quickly. And I don't want to do a separate Tuesday morning haul because I feel like I'm making clickbait because I only hauled like 4 items, and then people will be like, well, that's not really a haul. That's a few items. So all right. So let me pull these off. Okay. I'm sure everybody's seen this already, but I'm going to do a flip through anyway because it's late and I don't have that much interesting things to go on right now. Anyway, I'm just going to be organizing. So there's a lot of maps, letters. I love these little airmail pages. I love that airmail now stamp. So we've got, let's see, 3 of each page. And it is double-sided, and I like some of the patterns on the back are kind of vintagey. I like this. You don't see this much in that size. It's really little. I don't know if you can see it, like little worlds. There we go. Didn't want to focus. And then there's some stars and a star pattern. I like that. I love the back of this. I love the airplane because it's got like a model plane. And my dad used to make model planes, and my son had them hanging all over his ceiling when he was a kid. And once they were finished, my dad would hang them from the ceiling with a thumbtack and some fishing line. And they would just kind of float around when the air was moving. And the boys really liked them when they were little. So there it is again in a larger print. The same prints that are in a small print are just repeated in the larger prints. I love this vintagey quadrifoil. I love quadrifoil anything. So this is a letter from Port Gamble, Washington. Starts out, hello, sweetheart. It's a whole letter. And then a map. Again, more quadrifoil. I love it. I love this vintagey 1950s pattern. I think that is adorable. And it's kind of an orangey red. So I think I could even use that at Christmas. This has got some vintage things on it, but I love the typewriters. So, and then the typewritten print. And then it's got a typewriter